we're going to be going over a little bit of the overview, some of our differentiators that we're seeing in the market. We're going to be highlighting every partner forum every quarter. We like to do a little bit of highlight. We're going to be talking physical infrastructure today, and also a little bit around our ERP, CRM, and application development. So getting a lot of questions around that in the channel and from our partners. Wanted to clarify some of the opportunities there and some areas where we can help our customers together. Then we got some spiff announcements and some new capability announcements with some specific vendors. And yeah, then we got a Q&A and we'll wrap it up. So
I need to get an invoice copy for an account.
Looks like we got Mr. Spahn there. We're going to go ahead and mute Tom. There we go. All right. So quick overview for the organization. We're going to be here about generating more revenue. So been around 40 plus years. We are a system integrator. We do managed services. We help with all sorts of different integration point products, as well as tying those point products together. So we've helped out with product selection for 42 plus years, been a VAR, have a very, very significant professional services organization that helps integrate those products that are selected. We manage, maintain, and operate those on a 24/7 basis, including all the way down to end user help desk. Cybersecurity is a huge focus point for us. We have a 24/7 incident response team. We help people manage and operate and document their policies around risk management and full remediation services. So everything from helping with the policy creation all the way through the remediation and forensics as well. We're going to be highlighting a little bit of this more later in the session today. Physical infrastructure, cabling, audio, visual, access control, video surveillance, things like that. As well as we're seeing some great steps forward in database management, artificial intelligence, machine learning in the unified communication space. So we've been getting fantastic opportunities from the channel around helping to automate some of those CCaaS and UCaaS solutions that you guys are selling out there in the market, helping organizations migrate to those, all sorts of opportunity around that. Again, application development, and then just helping people get the right people and resources to their projects around staffing, technical on-call support, and things like that. So full stack IT provider, we help across the entire nation and internationally. 2024 was probably our most active international year to date. One of our large wins we're going to be going through today was a 200 site deployment for edge cloud services and some security services at about 250 locations internationally in 30 different countries. So we're really, really excited about our global footprint and how we deliver across multiple delivery centers across the United States. So if you ever need help, we do offer that full 24/7 follow the sun from managed services, but we can also help deploy assets internationally and nationally as well. So where do we win? A lot of you know this, a lot of you work with us, but where we typically win is when we can get to that business outcome conversation with our partners and their customers. We don't necessarily worry about the specific solution. It's usually that business outcome conversation, and there's tons of good vendors that we've been working with for a long time to put together, a vendor agnostic solution that fits that need. And then also if there's multiple, keystone areas here where clients need help, maybe with a product selection or with infrastructure services or application development, all of these cross support each other. So our disaster recovery experience helps us select the appropriate products. Our application development team helps us integrate those products to deliver that disaster recovery. These are all interconnected opportunities that your customers are trying to deal with. So we do a lot of customization. And again, customization does not mean expensive. It just means that we're helping organizations get the business outcome they need from the technology that they select. So lots of great opportunities to win there. Something that we want to focus on today, and something we're seeing continued growth in the channel on a national basis, is physical infrastructure services. We've been doing this for about 30 years, since the 90s. We've been laying cable, laying fiber optics. We really got into physical infrastructure after building data centers for our customers and building data centers for ourselves. When you build a data center, you have to manage access control. You have to manage the fiber going in and out of your facility. You have to have video surveillance to make sure that the environment's secured, man traps, access control, key systems, badge access, biometrics, having secure different wireless channels within that environment. Our first data center we built in a giant concrete bunker, and we had to basically rebroadcast cellular services for cell phone repeaters and have wireless systems built in there. So we built that all ourselves, and then we had customers ask us for help. So when we say physical infrastructure services, we literally mean anything from a physical design perspective, all the way down to the LED smart lighting, audio, visual, video conferencing. All of these systems are tied together, and we love to help organizations deal with this. On a national basis, we found that a lot of people have a couple good, folks that they can call on for physical infrastructure. But when you're doing multiple sites and you want standards kind of deployed across, multiple areas, and you want that, repeatability, we do really, really well building that out, managing the process, managing the product, and supporting our partners and their customers. And we'll get a little bit more into some digital signage and some security systems as well. So what are some examples? Like, hey, great, Adam, like, cool, you guys do physical infrastructure, but what does that mean to me as an agent, as a trusted advisor, and as a partner? Here are just some examples of where physical infrastructure helped us change the game and helped us deliver some fantastic solutions to our partners and their customers. One of them was a senior living facility where it was about 140 locations, and they wanted managed wireless, and we bundled in the infrastructure and the cabling and the IDF, MDF deployments into that managed service. So it was about 140 locations. They all had to be recabled, rewired, new IDFs, MDFs, and switches all installed. We did all of that as a project, and we actually incorporated that into the monthly reoccurring. Another example would be, in the retail and wellness business space, they were rolling out multiple different new locations. Kind of think like a luxury grocery store with some wellness features tied to it. We did the entire refresh of the cabling for those environments and dropped in all of the physical security for access control and video surveillance. That's a 50-site deployment. We've knocked out our first 2, and we're going to be going through about another 50 as it grows out nationally. And this has nothing to do with what you would typically think around firewalls or wireless or any of the network stack. It's all the physical layer and the transport. So all the, you roll the trucks, you get the cherry pickers out there, you get the different rigs out there, and you basically deploy all the physical infrastructure. Some of these are huge. Some of them are small. Like we have a national furniture retailer, $1,000 per location, and they have hundreds of pop-up locations all around the United States. And the reason the partner and the customer chose us was because we were able to put project management on top of it, as well as deliver consistent standards across hundreds of locations in the United States. You got to be able to repeat that and get that right for customers. So great opportunities there. Some other areas where we're seeing a lot of help is around, access control and video surveillance, as well as digital signage and just helping with initial carrier turn up. So if a DMARC needs to be extended, hey, we got a transport being handed off at this meet me room, and it's got to be moved up to the 10th floor. We love to do that, and these are some of our distributor partners and TSBs that we work with as well. So where as you can a partner can we start? Where do we want to go? Just have a conversation. So your channel manager. If you don't, partners@questsys.com. You can go to our web portal and register an opportunity. There's a couple different places we can start. Just have a conversation. Hey, Adam. Hey, Brian. Hey, Gary. Dave. Do you guys do this? Or we can get a little bit more formal, and we can go and do a full health check of the environment, document what they have in place today. Video surveillance and security reviews. So we do assessments. We'll do full site dispatches. We'll go do the full site walk for a wireless, heat map. We can do a full spectrum analysis on site or a synthetic. So if your clients have like CAD drawings or views of the environment, and we can run that through. We basically have some tools to run through some basically a synthetic heat map, or if you want to put us on site, we can do that as well. A big area where I think a lot of your customers are having challenges around audio visual. Not a easy slam dunk, always changing, a lot of interdependencies. Microsoft Teams changes something, Zoom changes something, some other, dial pad, whatever it is, someone throws a patch, it can break audiovisual capabilities for customers. So we love to do audiovisual assessments. A lot of people have trouble there. So if you ever need help with that, that's a great area to start. Physical security as a service is something that we do. For anyone who's worked with Quest, you know that we sell all this stuff. People can buy it, they can deploy it themselves. We can help them deploy it. But what we also can do is we can deploy it as a service, as a bundled offering. So we have very, very simple, easy to understand, manage, and talk about with your customers. Hey, there's customized bundles. We can do an environmental sensor for $40 a month, different video surveillance cameras, different access controls, a full visitor management system on a monthly reoccurring model. We can add additional cabling services per camera, per sensor, per asset, and very, very simple model to go through so your customers kind of have a predictable reoccurring charge if you want to bundle this in with some other managed service or something else that you're already providing for them around UCaaS or anything like that. Great opportunity. I know there's a couple other competitors in the channel around the physical security space. We've been doing this for about 20 years and got a great team. This all falls under the infrastructure services division. Last year, we did sign also an exclusive digital signage arrangement with Samsung. This is for, if you think about it from a content management standpoint, if you're familiar with like Meraki or Fortinet or like the cloud-based controllers for security, Samsung and a couple of the other digital display and digital signage partners out there have taken that same concept of in the cloud. They put their digital signage and management in the cloud and push out updates and changes to all the endpoints. So what we did as an MSP, and we've had some clients ask for help with this, in retail, healthcare, some financial services, anyone who needs digital signage on their campuses, we deliver it as a service. So it includes the cloud-based content management software. It includes all of the cabling and the installation and the edge hardware, and a managed service wrapped around it. So if something breaks or something needs to be replaced or something needs to be updated, we deliver that all as a service on a cost per endpoint. So digital signage as a service, not always, what you think when you think of a managed service provider, but we've had customers ask us for help with this. This can be anywhere from a full video wall to just a couple different, endpoints. This goes into the kiosk space and the menu board space for, think quick service restaurants. Also, huge opportunity if you have relationships in the grocery space. Every 15 minutes that they keep someone in that store, every 5 minutes that they keep someone in that store adds $50 to their ticket when they check out. So great return on investment for people in the grocery space. We have a couple of wins in that space where we keep people in the store and they're engaged with the digital advertising. It's a great ROI for your customers. So just something to think about when you chat with folks, either in retail or in customer service or hospitality. Great option from a digital signage perspective. Love to jump into that on a deeper review for anyone who would like to look into that. Again, infrastructure services is the baseline of everything that your customers are doing. They have to have consistent performance on that physical infrastructure. Fiber optics, wireless infrastructure, helping them with their IDFs and MDFs and documenting all that. We've all seen the pictures on LinkedIn of the rat's nest that get cleaned up into nice cable management and auditing, that type of stuff. We do that. We have great teams that can do that on a national and international basis, either in data centers or on your customer's premise. So great opportunity there around physical infrastructure. So I was excited about this partner forum because we're kind of taking two stacks of the IT infrastructure OSI model as far as what we're talking about here. So we were just talking layer one and transport and physical infrastructure. And we've also been getting a number of requests for application development, ERP, and CRM solutions. So these are the systems of record for organizations, right? So their ERP is basically how they're planning and how they're managing their inventory, and then their CRM, how they're managing their customers. There's software included in here. There's licensing subscriptions, tons of customization and integration opportunities, as well as how are we going to tie our ERP to our different warehouse management or workforce management or all sorts of different software subscriptions and cloud-based services. So there's opportunities to deploy it. There's opportunities to migrate from legacy systems to a new one. There's opportunities for you guys to help them update their databases. There's opportunities to manage the platform. And we do this on premise in their existing environment. So if they have a legacy system that they want to upgrade to a new one, you can provide a platform for them to do that on premise. Or if they want to go to a cloud-based instance, we can do that as well. Now, I get this question all the time and wanted to just take this opportunity for the entire, partner team and everybody to clarify, how do you actually make money doing this? So there's the ERP solutions and the CRM solutions around and there's a couple, sorry for the eye chart. If you want to dig into this specifically another time, please reach out anytime, we'll talk through it. But there's the opportunity to sell the solution itself, right? There's the opportunity to migrate from point A to point B. There's an opportunity to manage once they're at the new location or on the new subscription. And then there's huge opportunity to iterate and continue with what's called maintenance and operations of that application. So everything below the application stack in IT represents about 20 to 30% of what companies spend on their IT services. So everyone on this call, I'm pretty sure everyone on here is either a VAR, a managed service provider, a technology advisor in the network space or data center. Everything that we've built our businesses on over the past 40 years represents 30% of what your customers are spending ultimately on IT. The rest of it is in applications. The 60 to 70% of their IT spend goes to the application space. So these three nuggets here, migrate, manage, and DevOps, huge opportunity for helping customers operate, maintain, and manage their assets. The tough part when we're communicating this is we don't necessarily have the authorization to resell all of these applications. We can work on them, we can get engineers on them, we can build teams to support them, all that good stuff, but there is a ton of hoops and a ton of certifications and a ton of games, not speaking negatively to anyone, but there's certain games that vendors make providers play in order to kind of be able to sell their stuff. So we don't sell a ton of this. They have huge direct teams that sell this stuff. SAP, for example, Sage, NetSuite, Oracle. Just think about it this way. Amazon made a ton of money by disintermediation, basically cutting out the middleman. That's software people love to cut out the middleman and basically sell direct. So my point here is I don't think the huge opportunity is on the actual sale and the transaction of the licensing. Sure, you can try to do that, but most of the time your customers are going to engage directly with their Microsoft rep or with someone from Salesforce or Adobe or Oracle. There's, Ellison has got, if anyone's ever heard about the stories around how Ellison, runs Oracle sales, It's a rough world to be in, and those guys are hungry and they're getting after it. So that's not where the money is. The money is in migrating, maintaining, and supporting those operations because those are key systems of record for your customers. So sometimes partners get a little stuck on, well, if I can't sell the licensing, I can't support it going forward. Absolutely not true. Let them buy the licensing. Let them subscribe to it. Let them pick their, pick their poison, if you will. Help them operate, help them manage, bring in a partner like Quest to help them, get that done. And we typically do that. If you notice a very consistent phase one here, it's a paid assessment to understand what they have in place today and where they want to go. So huge opportunity. Again, 60 to 70% of what your customers are spending on IT is in this world. It's not in network. It's not in even cybersecurity. It's not in that. It's in applications. And we're seeing a huge opportunity for folks to, make some money here together. So good way to stick with your clients and get really involved in their business.
Hey, Adam.
So, whoa, hey, that came in
Oh.
the call. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Adam.
Get the
Sorry
shit out of
about that. Oh, sorry. Hey, we got a bunch of questions. Do you want me to hold on to these questions till the end, or you want to answer them as we're going throughout?
No, let's do it. What do you got?
Great. So a couple, let's go bottom to top. Christopher was wondering, am I reading that you are a Genesys implementation partner?
Yes, we do have capabilities to implement and help with Genesys deployments. So we did a large cloud-based deployment from an Avaya legacy on-prem system. We documented, and I'm not an engineer at all, but basically this is going to sound very dumb for anyone who's educated in this. Basically, all the call flows for a certain Avaya instance, they had about 3,000 separate routes that came into that and had different kind of choose your own adventure paths. We re-architected those call flows, and there's a term for it that I'm messing up. I don't know what it is, into a Genesys instance, cloud-based Genesys instance. So yes, we can help with that.
Nice. Sounded like a smart answer to me. Brandon was wondering, do you guys do central monitoring around the physical security as a service?
We can do eyes on glass for the actual monitoring. So like, we can watch the cameras and notify, and we do that for a couple larger campuses. Usually it has to be a decent sized deployment to have eyes on glass. But yes, we do monitor all of the actual assets as well. So all the cameras, all the switches, all the different instances out there that support the system, those are monitored 24/7 by our NOC. And then if the customer wants to pay for it, we can have, a security professional observing the actual video feeds.
Awesome. Great questions. And John was wondering, have you done any work with Verkada cameras, access controls, etc.?
Yes. So we are a direct partner with Verkada. We are a service provider partner with them as well. And we help with deployments of their systems for folks who don't have the ability to, or don't have the trucks to roll. So like some of our partners and Verkada will use us to support, their partners' engagements. Like maybe they sold the cameras, but they don't have trucks in a certain geography. We'd love to partner to help deploy that. And we work a lot with Verkada. We've been with them for a good amount of time. Yep.
And follow-up question from Christopher. Do you have any idea when you'll be able to resell Genesys licensing with your implementation services?
Right now we don't have a path to reselling Genesys. If there's an opportunity, we're very opportunistic. So if there's an opportunity that can help drive it, or we can help alignment there, love to have that conversation, but haven't had that opportunity at this time.
And finally, Noah was wondering, can you send out an overview doc or presentation after this webinar? So
yeah, this deck will be sent to everybody as part of a follow-up. Justin's on the line here, and we usually send this out either later this afternoon or probably tomorrow. first thing. So, yep.
Awesome. Great. Yeah, I'll pop back in with more questions and I'll try to sound less terrifying. Let's do it.
Yeah, it was good. I was on a roll there, and then I think I had my volume turned up pretty high, and there's probably a good. You scared the shit out of me. That's great. Um, no, so anyways, back to the, from a commission standpoint, we're sales folks, obviously. Some of our largest deals that we've done in the channel through with our partners and our TSVs have been around application development. So anywhere from, and they're a lot of fun. You start out with like a 4-hour engagement, and it transitions to $4 to $5 million worth of application development and operational support, just by starting and having a conversation around how someone's database is performing, or how they could maybe modernize a database or things like that. So, and again, we all, from a channel perspective, we all kind of think of like, hey, how many users, what's the cost per user, and what's the MRC? Totally get that. Love that model, because that's that reoccurring revenue model. That's fantastic. Application development, application support is very similar in the sense that it's a cost per month budget that your customers are paying, and they're paying someone to do this. Every single one of your customers is paying someone for maintenance and operations of their key applications. Every single customer. I don't care if it's a 100 user customer or a 10,000 user customer. They have an applications team. They have maintenance and operations going on, even if they're not calling it that. They're keeping those systems patched, updated, and coding those. We run agile projects. We'd like our partners to be on those agile stand-up calls and go through those sprints. Those are weekly, sometimes daily stand-up calls, where you're going through exactly what the customer's asking for and then giving them feedback on a weekly basis. Get very, very close with your customers on these engagements. So huge opportunity. A couple different ways to engage here. If anyone on this call is not familiar with technical on-call support, shame on me, shame on the team. But technical on-call support is the most flexible engagement model that you have as a partner to engage with our engineering resources. It's a retainer-based engagement. It basically allows your customer or you as a partner to engage with our engineering team 24/7 and schedule resources or leverage them in an emergency capacity, or basically have them dispatched to a site of your choosing where you need a specific resource with a specific skill set. It is retainer based, and it is a $5,000 minimum, but that gives you access to every resource that we have and every skill set that we have. As you move down the stack here on the left hand, these are just different types of contract vehicles we have. I won't go into nuts and bolts on all of them, but basically letter of engagement is a specific resource that's going to be managed by the customer. Like, hey, I'm doing a cut. I need a Citrix engineer or a VMware or a Cisco or whatever the technology is to come on board and be a part of my team. A statement of engagement is more along the lines of, hey, we're rolling through this task list. We got project management involved, and Quest has taken on some responsibility and updating for that. Statement of work is fixed deliverables, fixed skill set, let's roll, managed by Quest. And then professional staffing and services and augmentation is a long-term staffing engagement. So lots of different options there. Again, this is a little bit of an eye chart. We'll include this and send it out with the with the summary of this session. But these are great starting points to the larger opportunities, right? These are great entry points. Just, hey, I need a person to help me with my SQL database, right? I need someone to help me move, from this legacy email system to Proofpoint or Mimecast or Microsoft's version, whatever that is. These are the entry points. We call them kind of gateway services to that monthly reoccurring, helping organizations manage and support their environment. Something that's a challenge for us, and we're just super candid about it, and we want to be candid about it with our partners, is we don't necessarily fit cleanly into the TSD's buckets. we've all seen the different back offices, and they're fantastic, and they do a great job of kind of itemizing like who's an MDR provider, who's a wireless provider, who's a physical security provider. There's a couple of jokes. The TSDs give me a hard time. Adam, you say yes to like almost everything that we ask you for. And some people, some engineers think that's BS, and some love it. Some people call us the Swiss Army knife. Some people call us the dumpster of the channel. I don't really care. What we do is we have building blocks that can address all of these different, line items and specific buckets that maybe that's kind of how people see the world. It's like, well, no, you're a firewall company or you're a MDR company. We do really, really well for you and your customers when they need some integration between that firewall company, the MDR, and the on-site support. Or they need something that, hey, they've already invested in a SIM, they've already invested in an endpoint protection plan. They need you, Quest, to provide email security and monitor what they've already invested in, right? Some of our competitors will say, hey, we can rip and replace those, those whatever Sonic walls or Fortinets, and we got to replace them with Meraki's. That's not our model. Our model is what are they looking for help with, and then we can manage what they've already invested in and support what they've already invested in. Hard to quantify that in the back office. So we just like to address that. There's a lot of stuff that we put in there if you're looking for help. Just reach out, partners@questus.com, and say, hey, do you guys do this? We got one this morning that was specifically around a forensic investigation for a great partner on the East Coast who their customer needed help, documenting what happened on a certain laptop. That's not going to be in the back office, right? So just ask. We'd love to help, love to let you know how we can engage, and we'll be very, very transparent on, yeah, we can help with that. Yeah, we can help with that, but it's going to be a little bit of a purple squirrel, or no, not a fit. So, all right. So I went 36 minutes without saying AI. Oh, maybe I did say AI a little bit at the beginning, so I apologize. But because I know everyone's got AI fatigue and hearing about it. And as far as making money with AI and selling it, this is how we think in the channel and with our partners, we can help organizations get ready for what's going to happen next. We have an AI readiness assessment. It starts at around $10,000 for an initial engagement. It's a significant opportunity to help organizations with rational data and getting their databases ready for Copilot, ready for all these AI agents that are going to be taking action on their behalf or helping interface with their customers. And the reason that this is such a huge opportunity is because you're seeing how everyone's dumping money and branding AI, and all of a sudden their stock goes up by 20% if they say AI or NVIDIA or whatever. And that's all great. But what you can help your customers do is see if their databases are in a rational state that's usable for these agents. Because we've all heard the term garbage out, garbage in, garbage out. These language models, these agents, the basically understanding what they can and can't access, how they want to control that data, how they want to manage it, how they want to secure it and govern it. We have an AI readiness assessment that we've rolled out. We've done it multiple times now. We've helped organizations, test and manage and understand more and more about Copilot and those types of things. But there's hundreds of these agents that are coming out to market. And a lot of customers, especially in the middle market, 200 to 2,000 users, are not ready. Their databases are not ready for this. They don't have, rational databases that can be leveraged yet. And that's what we're trying to help them get ready for. So as a catalyst to get involved in this, it's an AI readiness assessment. It's a fantastic opportunity. If you want to have specific conversations around that with one of our technical consultants or dig into capabilities there, please, partners@questus.com. Reach out to myself or any of your channel managers, and we'll get you set up and walk through the whole scope of how we can help folks with that. All right, so couple new spiffs to announce for everybody out there, and these are pretty cool because these are opportunities. These are opportunity spiffs, not necessarily closed. not like an award. We still have those, but these are pipeline spiffs, right? These are three areas where we think there's a huge opportunity for you as a partner and a huge opportunity for us as Quest. So it's $500 for an approved opportunity in one of these areas: application development, cyber defense suite, or our risk management services. And there, again, we'll send this out so you can see the whole deck. And there's a link in here where you can go to the current spiffs. But application development, like I said, is 60 to 70% of organizations' revenue. Excuse me, their IT spend. Cyber defense suite is around our managed cybersecurity services, including things like patch management, EDR, MDR, and SIM. And then our risk management, disaster recovery, and BCP is our compliance and risk management services. So this is think like subscribed virtual CISO with policy management and helping organizations with things like GRC and like all the different constraints that are coming down around managing the risk of their organizations. So again, application development, these types of opportunities start out small. That could just be like a SQL database review or an API integration or a SharePoint migration. Got a great win with a partner out of Florida. Walked us into a couple $1,000 SQL assessment, and it's well over $4 million, and going for a significant amount of time. So obviously, start the conversation, make $500 directly, paid to you on a virtual gift card, and also great opportunity for upsell and growth there. Cyber defense suite is a lot of services, right? There's a lot in there. This is what we built based on our experience with customers struggling in the world of cybersecurity. So endpoint protection, email security, device monitoring, vulnerability scannings, penetration tests, attack surface management, patch management, okay? Helping organizations automate their patching. Huge vulnerability that people leave kind of wide open. I'd say 80% of your customers are not up to date on their patching. No one likes to talk about it. No one likes to do it. We love going in there and helping them automate that and get it up to speed. DNS security, where people are able to go on the internet and where they can traverse and where automated packets can go and download more malware. You got to protect against that. Password protection, okay? Multi-factor authentication, SIM, zero trust, and immutable storage. Any of these opportunities, every single one of your customers is dealing with this. Every single one of them. We just had a great win with a regional nonprofit. They had about 250 employees. They didn't know what they were getting from their current MSSP. We ended up saving them 10%, and we had some significant additional features that were implemented and gave them visibility on, hey, their MFA is actually enabled on their Microsoft assets. We had password protection, and we gave them some immutable storage. So huge upsell opportunity if you want to get involved in the cyber defense suite conversation. And then risk management, last one here, is around really managing what they have in place, policies, and how they're managing their crisis communications plans when something bad happens. How are they keeping their business operational? If they do get hit with ransomware, do they have their cybersecurity insurance up to date? Do they have the appropriate riders? How are they dealing with all those, things that are getting thrown at them from the insurance agency? People need a lot of help with this. So we do some workshops, we do assessments. We can start with professional services engagement, a tabletop. Again, if you want to have this conversation with your customer, register it with your channel manager. We have a specific reg site to do that. We'll send that out to you guys. But again, $500 for getting on the phone with a customer to talk through any of these services is a great opportunity. And then we do still have the main wins, right? So new logo spiff, $500. And then this is one of my favorite things. This is called the capability review spiff, okay? And everyone loves to hear the Quest story. I'm sure you guys are all completely enamored by the talk track we're going through right now. But we've found 8 out of 10 engagements where a potential customer, or a potential prospect has a capability review, an opportunity flows out of it. And what a capability review is a 30 to 45-minute call with a Quest representative, you and your customer, to talk through the capabilities that Quest has available to you and your customer to help them achieve whatever they're doing in IT. So it's a very, very open and fluid conversation around Quest capabilities. We get to present a little bit of our history, a little bit of our thesis, and what we believe, how we can help people in IT. And the conversion, when the shields kind of go down from the end user standpoint, it's like, hey, Quest and my partner aren't here trying to jam in a specific service offering. It's really a capability conversation. Like, hey, here's how we help people with resources. Here's how we help people select the right technology. Here's how we help people with monitoring or supporting the assets they already have. Great upsell. 8 out of 10 times there's a follow-on opportunity, and it's a great catalyst. So we appreciate, you have those relationships. If you do trust us to have that discussion and represent you well, add an extra $250 for you as well, for a capability review. So those are the current spiffs that we have. If you have any questions on those, please, again, partners@questsys.com. Let us know if we can help you out with that. We do have a default on growth kind of initiative with our partners and with your customers. Everything that you bring to us as a partner, we're going to communicate as long as you're okay with it. Basically, hey, we help out with this. Do you need some help? If you don't want us to do that, we can obviously, that's your customer, that's your contact. We mark them as do not solicit, but we are letting people know there are different areas where we help. Usually about 2 touches per month is where we kind of send out, hey, this is where we're helping folks. About 60% of what I pay and what Quest pays the technology service distributors every month is from what generates from that default on activity. That secondary and third opportunity, about a little more than half of our residuals that we pay are from that growth. So it's a great way to grow, great way to help go out and prospect while we're helping do that as well. We keep you CC'd on those. Very, very transparent. If you ever want us to say, hey, nope, turn that off, we turn it off. These are some of the communications that we send out. We send out what's called a quick Quest update every month. And it says, hey guys, here's what we're notifying. Here's what we're sending out to your customers. Here's the emails that we send out. And then also, if your customers opt in for it, we send out security advisors. So these security advisory notifications are things that basically help let people know of 0-day threats, vulnerabilities, things that are very, very important to them as far as operational support, as well as just some different capabilities. So if you want to get these yourselves, obviously partners@questsys.com, or coordinate with your partner manager, and we'll get you all these updates. For example, this is what we sent out in February. So we sent out a notification around risk management. We sent out a notification around some key updates in the Broadcom and VMware world. We sent out an update around integration on what we call unified communications. We sent out the SCCM end of sale. So for folks who are using SCCM for patching or updating or managing their Microsoft environment or other systems, this is going away. So we sent that out to folks saying, hey, if you need any help transitioning, or you're not, you're built around that, we can help. So these are basically just some of the topics that we send out from a notification standpoint. If you would like those sent to you, let us know. If you don't, no problem. And you just kind of want to have like a capability review, maybe once a quarter, we can do that as well. So again, partners@questsys.com if you ever have any requests or anything like that you'd like to see. Brought this up as a highlight as well. And I want to get to some in open forum here in a second. But we do have the capability to provide Arctic Wolf in the channel to you as the trusted advisor in a very, very similar model that you're familiar with maybe some of their competitors. We are a reseller of Arctic Wolf. We've been a VAR. We're also a MSSP partner of Arctic Wolf, right? So we can manage it, maintain it, support remediation, all that good stuff from a managed security service provider standpoint. Where this is unique is if you just want to engage with Arctic Wolf directly and go through the TSP of your choice, we can provide that access to you as a trusted advisor to do so and engage directly with their sales team to manage the process with them and with your client. And you can do that on your own. We'll manage the back end and basically manage the payment to you as the trusted advisor through the TSP of your choice. And that's really facilitating Arctic Wolf getting involved in the channel in a way that they previously were not able to. Quest has been doing, working with TSPs for 15 years. We understand what's important to you guys as far as, hey, how do we bring in a vendor, but also make sure it's tagged to us and obviously, get that residual income. We've baked that out and we can get into details on that, but that's a baked known process. We've put multiple engagements through this process now where you're just working directly with Arctic Wolf and Quest is facilitating that with your TSP. So great opportunity. A lot of people talk about Arctic Wolf. A lot of people need help with it. We manage it and support it. And if you want our help managing and supporting it, that's great. But if you just want to engage with them directly and manage that process in your own sales cycle and your own pre-sales consulting and all that kind of stuff, we step back and basically give you that option. So it's on the website. You can register it directly here. We manage that process for you with your TSP. So this is going to be on when we send it out. These are all the different data sheets we talked about today. So all these links are directly available for you. They're also at the Quest, the partner portal. If you just go to www.questis.com and one click to go to the partner website, you can jump into the partner portal right from there. Lots of different content on here, lots of different kind of overviews of the services we talked about, on the call today. So good. Paul, any questions or anyone got any questions they want to kind of jump into here as are we wrapping up? I know we got about 10 minutes left in the session, but anything we missed so far, anything anyone wants to dive into?
So I was going to say, we have all the questions in the chat answered, but yeah, if anybody wants to come off mute, feel free to.
One area, so going through some of these questions, one of the things that caught my attention, and I'm a sales guy, obviously, is keeping the pipeline full. And one of the things that we've developed as well, if you're interested in it, is if you go to the website or if you want to talk about this specifically with your national channel manager or anyone on the partner team, we have some playbooks that we developed around different topics of IT support. So we have one around technical on-call support. We have one around cybersecurity. We're developing new playbooks around application development. And these are email templates, collateral, and some messaging, as well as some LinkedIn messaging and some social media posts that if you want to ingest those into your marketing campaign, they're pre-made for you. They're vendor agnostic. They're not specific to Quest necessarily. There is some Quest messaging in there, but if you do need help with something like that and kind of priming the pipeline question here, we are developing and investing in playbooks for you guys to leverage if you'd like to. So good opportunity there if you need it.
Question would be, if we introduced you to a company, say a bank that was going through an acquisition of a smaller bank, what kind of points would we want to raise to get that set up, and how do you envision that kind of conversation going?
Yeah, so no, great question. We have a mergers and acquisitions and a due diligence process. And we've helped organizations go through that due diligence IT assessment to kind of help them understand what they're getting involved in from an acquisition standpoint. If it's pre-acquisition and they want to do that due diligence, we can act as that person for them. Or if they've already gone through the acquisition and now they need help incorporating that tech from that smaller bank into theirs, we have an assessment and an engagement process that we could do that. We call it mergers and acquisition and due diligence. We can definitely help out with that. Usually starts with an assessment and just kind of a quick 30-minute conversation to see, what they're dealing with. But great question. Thank you.
Oh, Greg is wondering, we have a DR office with 4 locations. They are looking for a new EMR, electronic medical record system. Do you all get into this in any capacity?
So with EMR, we do help with the integration. We're not a reseller of like an Athena Health or a Epic or anything like that. But we've hosted and managed and supported one of the largest Epic instances on the West Coast from a DR standpoint for about 15 years. There's a lot in that space. But yeah, we do help from an application standpoint with that. We can help with, we don't resell the EMR solutions themselves, but when they select one and they need to migrate data to it or connect their 4 doctors' offices to it and make sure that it's like a, secure, encrypted, and, they're not sharing PII or having any vulnerabilities, we help with that. Absolutely.
And also, can my CM reach out to me on that, please? That's another question from Greg.
Yeah, Greg, we'll reach out to you on that for sure. Thank you.
If I can follow on to Greg's question too, a lot of doctors' offices in New Jersey now are merging into Meridian Health, and they're all struggling for some months. The doctors, everybody else, to get used to the new system. Is there any kind of training that you would do on that, or anything you could do to help these offices?
So user experience and training is usually something that's a tough one because it's the application manager who's usually got to kind of do that type of training. That'd be tough because we wouldn't necessarily be familiar with what Meridian was pushing out there from an interface, like how those doctors groups are accessing it or anything like that. John, are they using like a Citrix or like a remote instance, like a remote desktop or something like that to access, or are they kind of struggling with just how to use the application?
I think it's just a new format. Some of them, had their own. Some of them came off of a different one. So it's I guess probably like going from an iPhone to an Android or something like that.
Yeah, that can be that user acceptance and testing and all that kind of stuff is usually on who's ever kind of managing that application for them. So when we do transition services or updates or development, what we do is we go through stakeholders within each one of those applications. They give us direct feedback, and then we typically, make updates based on their feedback. But if they're just being absorbed into Meridian Health, sometimes they just kind of gotta, work through it. Good questions, though, guys. Appreciate it. So if there aren't any other questions, please hit us up anytime. These are different ways to engage. Partners@questsys.com will hit the channel management team, and we'll make sure to get you the right resources. Our website here at questsys.com, you can drop into the partner tab there as well, in the partner portal. There's no username or password there, so it's not annoying or anything like that where you gotta, do anything like that to log in. I'm trying to make it very, very simple and easy to access. So great material in there as well. And then if you ever, want to register an opportunity, there's registration portal, pretty simple there. And we always say to everyone who is on any of our calls, in the event of an emergency, it doesn't have to be just cybersecurity. We had one partner who had a customer in South Carolina managing a large warehouse operation and manufacturing plant. Their MSP didn't pay their subscription for a certain Fortinet subscription. And they didn't know it, but it got shut off. So they lost access to all their APs and a lot of their ability to log in. The partner went to ir@quistis.com. They opened up a case with us. We were able to engage with that vendor and square it away and get them back online. But ir@quistis.com is not just malware or incident response or remediation. It's incident response for physical, backhoe fade or, any type of trouble your customers have. If you need emergency support as a partner, go to ir@quistis.com and we'll get the right people engaged to help. So, these are some of the different folks on the team here. Again, this will be in the deck that you can reference. I think we got the e-gift card going out to everyone for attending. Thank you very much for attending. We'll get that sent out to you guys as a follow-up. And again, appreciate the partnership. If there's anything we can do better for you guys or any feedback you have, we're putting out these partner forums mainly to share what's going on and hear from you. And again, appreciate your partnership, and everyone have a great day. Thank you very much.